From a ground station nestled in the mountains at Andover, Maine, a signal is sent to a speeding satellite. An historic feat that could reshape man's future. That satellite, of course, is the Telstar, 170 pounds of complex electronic equipment that receives signals beamed from Earth, magnifies them 10 billion times, and rebroadcasts them back to Earth. Pictures, telephone calls, telegraph messages, and computer data all can be handled by the orbiting device. The Telstar is sent aloft from Cape Canaveral atop a Thor Delta rocket in a joint industry government effort. The Space Administration team handles the launching for AT&T, and it's a $50 million phone call for the telephone company. Future plans call for the orbiting of 20 to 25 satellites like the Telstar. Thus, when one passes out of range of ground stations, another will be coming into position. Presently, along with the ground station in Maine, there is a receiver and transmitter in Great Britain at Cornwall. The signals are beamed from this 18-story dome that houses the super-sensitive horn weighing nearly 400 tons. An antenna so delicately tuned that it picks up a mere whisper of a signal from the satellite and amplifies it again billions of times for rebroadcast over cables or the air. Now comes the historic moment, a moment compared in significance with the first message sent over the telegraph. This is the first picture transmitted to outer space and received back again on Earth. Scenes of the dome at Andover are flashed across the sea, and man marks another milestone in this age of scientific miracles. So proudly it waves. In 1962, world peace was threatened by the most critical period in history since the end of the war. Red Puppet Castro and the Russians turned Cuba into an island fortress, and U.S. planes spotted missile installations aimed at key points in the Western Hemisphere. Planes brought back evidence that moved the Organization of American States and the Western Allies to back President Kennedy unanimously when he declared an arms blockade of Cuba and laid down an ultimatum.
Within the past week, unmistakable evidence has established the fact that a series of offensive missile sites is now in preparation on that imprisoned island. To halt this offensive buildup, a strict quarantine on all offensive military equipment under shipment to Cuba is being initiated. All ships of any kind bound for Cuba, from whatever nation or port, will, if found to contain cargoes of offensive weapons, be turned back. It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response upon the Soviet Union.
The democracies had served notice on the Russians that any aggressive threat in the Western Hemisphere would not be tolerated.
All right, sir. Let me ask you one simple question. Do you, Ambassador Zorin, deny that the USSR has placed and is placing medium and intermediate range missiles and sites in Cuba? Yes or no? Don't wait for the translation, yes or no?
I am not in an American courtroom, sir, and therefore I do not wish to answer a question that is put to me in the fashion in which a prosecutor does. In due course, sir, you will have your reply.
I'm prepared to wait for my answer until hell freezes over, if that's your decision.
A final chapter in the Cuban crisis is brought to a close as President Kennedy holds a news conference to announce that Soviet bombers on Cuban soil would be withdrawn by Russia.
I have today been informed by Chairman Khrushchev that all of the IL-28 bombers now in Cuba will be withdrawn in 30 days. He also agrees that these planes can be observed and counted as they leave. Inasmuch as this goes a long way towards reducing the danger which faced this hemisphere 4 weeks ago, I have this afternoon instructed the Secretary of Defense to lift our naval quarantine.
In the face of U.S. determination, the Soviets dismantled their missiles and shipped them home, leaving the U.S. to ponder its readiness for a nuclear attack.
Dum dum, diddle dum dum, diddle dum dum, diddle dum-dum. There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and Bert the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He'd duck and cover.
Sundays, holidays, vacation time, we must be ready every day, all the time, to do the right thing if the atomic bomb explodes. Duck and cover. This family knows what to do, just as your own family should. They know that even a thin cloth helps protect them. Even a newspaper can save you from a bad burn.
The government's ideas about nuclear fallout were either misleading or downright wrong.
Fallout settles on your food. The food itself isn't harmed. You simply remove the fallout particles using everyday methods of food preparation. Peeling, wiping, or washing. Fallout swallowed accidentally with food or in drinking water would do you no immediate harm. If we remember these facts, if we act on them intelligently, we can increase our chances of surviving nuclear attack. And the key to survival is adequate shelter. That's why the federal government has a nationwide shelter program. The goal is adequate fallout shelter space for every man, woman, and child. And this goal can be reached. For with knowledge of radiation, we can face the facts about fallout and take action to protect ourselves against this hazard of the nuclear age.
Another way to protect yourself was to be a regular churchgoer. But here's the 1962 twist, a drive-in church. No need to leave your car after a pleasant Sunday brunch. Just drive up, say your prayers, and count your blessings, and you'll still have enough time for a few holes of golf. And best of all, they even validate.
Something on wheels for everyone at the 6th Annual International Automobile Show at New York's Coliseum. The United States and 8 foreign nations are displaying 450 models. Everything from sleek sports cars to elaborate Land Cruisers for campers. They say there's something here for everybody's taste and pocketbook. And 350,000 visitors are expected to come to look and maybe buy. There are 49 foreign makes on display, and manufacturers from abroad hope to keep their share of the American market with these models. They have to compete, of course, with the bigger cars from Detroit. But there seems to be a market for everybody as car sales mount and mount and mount. Tourists in Europe often see sights that stand them on their heads, and the popular Rhone wheel is one of them. It's a topsy-turvy world to the contestants in the annual World Championship Whirl, where anybody can be a big wheel if he doesn't mind going around in circles. There's a serious side to the device, though. They were originally developed to train glider pilots. They figured if you could maintain your equilibrium after a few minutes on the wheel, you were safe aloft in any glider. Off with the women's title is Eva Ebert from Würzburg, who has the coordination to make her the complete mistress of the Rhone wheel. She shares honors with the men's champ, Norbert Dill. What a pickle they'd be in if they went around together. In a setting of lush luxury in Caracas, Venezuela, the gals are giving us an insider's look at the swim caps that will crown beauty on the beach this summer. This is the bewitching Capri, a stunning example of a total glamour swim cap for this or any other summer. It's a toque designed to transmit old world charm to a modern miss. Row upon row of decorative petals form the Theodora, a real charmer. And here's something radically different. Designed by Playtex of nylon fabric, it is smartly tailored with rows of the fluffy material. Out of the water and onto the beach for sunning, you'll find the cap has two faces of beauty. Out comes the liner, and you have a custom-styled beach bonnet that dries in seconds and lends that certain touch to your day in the sun. The old-fashioned bathing caps were nothing like these. This is Sophia, with an informal pertness that makes its wearer shine. Finally, Minerva, to provide the perfect touch of sea breeze beauty that will add oceans of fun to your summer. Now you know what the wild waves will be saying. Pretty nice.